𝓑𝓮𝓵 TV.
Hi, everybody. Gather around. I'm here to give you anything you like. You want free college, energy, mortgages, whatever you like. You have come to the right place. Why? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Who can take your money?
Who can take your money?
With a twinkle in their eye.
A twinkle in their eye.
Take it all away and give it to some other guy. The government.
Mr. Diamond, you know how to spend $31 million a year in salary, and you can't figure out how to make up a $567 a month shortfall. This is a budget problem you cannot solve. You're an expert on financial statements, and you run a $2.6 trillion bank. I know you're good at numbers, and you've shared lots of opinions recently about how the U.S. should budget its resources, how families should budget their resources, and so I'd like to ask for your help on a problem. I went to Monster.com, and I found a job in my hometown of Irvine at JP Chase. It pays $16.50 an hour, and so I wondered if I could, if you'd indulge me, when you do the math on this and you do the $16.50 out at 40 hours a week for 52 weeks a year, it comes out to an income of $35,070. Now, this bank teller, her name is Patricia. She has one child who's 6 years old. She claims the one dependent after tax. She has $29,100. We divide that by 12. She rents a one-bedroom apartment. She and her daughter sleep together in the same room. In Irvine, California, that average one-bedroom apartment is going to be $1,600. She spends $100 on utilities. Take away the $1,700, and she has net $725. She's like me. She drives a 2008 minivan and has gas. $400 for car expenses and gas. Net $325. The Department of Agriculture says a low-cost food budget, that is ramen noodles, a low food budget is $400. That leaves her $77 in the red. She has a Cricket cell phone, the cheapest cell phone she can get for $40. She's in the red $117 a month. She has after-school childcare because the bank is open during normal business hours. That's $450 a month. That takes her down to negative $567 per month. My question for you, Mr. Diamond, is how should she manage this budget shortfall while she's working full-time at your bank?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
Would you recommend that she take out a JP Chase credit card and run a deficit?
I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
Would you recommend that she overdraft at your bank and be charged overdraft fees?
I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
So I know you have a lot
I'd love to call up and have a conversation about her financial affairs and see if we can be helpful.
See if you can find a way for her to live on less than the minimum that I've described.
Just be helpful.
Well, I appreciate your desire to be helpful, but what I'd like you to do is provide a way for families to make ends meet so that little kids who are 6 years old living in a one-bedroom apartment with their mother aren't going hungry at night because they're $567 short from feeding themselves, clothing them. We allowed no money for clothing. We allowed no money for school lunches. We allowed no money for field trips, no money for medical, no money for prescription drugs, nothing. And she's short $567 already. Mr. Diamond, you know how to spend $31 million a year in salary, and you can't figure out how to make up a $567 a month shortfall. This is a budget problem you cannot solve.
You know what's crazy too? If you type in Illuminati backwards on Google search,
Yeah.
you know what it comes up?
What?
So it sends you straight to the National Security Agency site.
National Security, yeah. What's that?
The National Security Agency site, fam. The
For-
government.
Wait, if you type it in?
If you
what do you
type
mean?
in, if you spell Illuminati backwards
Yeah.
into Google, then the first link of what they'll send you is the National Security.
Is that true?
Yes, you can type it in.
I type it in Google right now.
Yes,
So what?
yeah,
Let's try this shit.
yeah.
There's no way. How do you spell Illuminati backwards though?
ITANIM
ITANIM
ULLI.
ULLI.
Mink.
Oh shit. What the fuck?
Mink.
What the fuck? Why is that? Why does it do that?
Oh no. Why do you think? Stupid.
National Security Agency sent. This is actually true.
What if everything you see with regard to sports, entertainment, and anything that can sway public opinion is and always has been scripted?
Second downfield, scans downfield, fires to the end zone, it's intercepted.
Now that was Clemson intercepting the football to go on and win the game at the Fiesta Bowl in 2019. I filmed that exact same moment taking place from the field. What if there are people that have been around this stuff, seen this stuff, been semi-involved in this stuff, and know exactly how it all works, and they're trying to share information to help you all? What if those kinds of people exist? They're not doing this for likes, attention, accolades. They literally just want to help you wake up so that you can get your life sorted and your faith straight. What if there are events coming where the only thing you're going to be concerned about is your salvation and your soul because there's nothing else you can do? Remember the Wayfair scandal that took place a few years ago that started bringing a lot of dark topics to light, where they were selling cabinets and like chairs and things that aren't very expensive for thousands and thousands of dollars, and they only had one item in stock? Well, evidently similar things are taking place on Etsy now. A single picture of pizza for $9,000 with a cell phone in the back of the box. The other one's talking about an encrypted digital instant download for $4,000. Listen, I don't have all the answers, but that's extremely shady. And people that are familiar with this whole topic and everything involving pizza stuff, they're gonna understand. So I recently made a video talking about the movie Leave the World Behind. And I discussed how the Obamas were not only executive producers on the film, but they had a huge role in the adaptation, in the writing of the adaptation from the book to the movie. I also shared a clip of Barack Obama himself giving a speech at Stanford on misinformation. And in that speech, which you can find everywhere, the full speech is everywhere, like on every single media outlet, he talks about flooding the town square with misinformation and disinformation for the whole purpose of toppling a nation and gaining control of a nation. Exactly like what's happening here in America. This clip is everywhere. It's on every single platform. And I don't normally share stuff like this, but they struck my video. They took my video down, whatever. I don't complain about that stuff. I never share that stuff with you all. However, the reason they gave me was really interesting. So they're basically telling me that that video of Obama is AI. And, you know, at first I'm like, oh, they're making stuff up. They're making stuff up. They just want to strike my video. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, they have the tools to detect what is AI and what's not. Most of you don't even realize that basically the whole algorithm and the whole program, the whole app is ran by AI for the most part, except for when humans have to get involved. So that begs the question, have any of you seen Barack Obama in person anytime recently? Have you? Has anyone? And of course, there's gonna be people saying, "Oh, he was here, he was there. Oh, you know, you're being a conspiracy theorist." Has anyone physically seen him anytime recently? Maybe it is AI. Maybe that whole speech is AI. Do any of you even really know?
I've said this before. People would ask me, knowing what you know now, do you wish like you had a third term? And I used to say, you know what? If I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats, looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony, I'd be fine with it.
Is that also AI? Perhaps they've already left this country. Perhaps they're already wherever it is they're gonna be to ride this whole storm out. And what we're seeing is either filmed and broadcast from where they are, or it's AI. Something to think about.
The Terminator is the prequels to the beginning of The Matrix. Sarah Connor is actually Neo's mother. So JC, John Connor's Jesus Christ, grows up to be Neo, one and the same in The Matrix. The Matrix is in the future. The Terminator is the past. It's time travel, past, present, and future time travel. It's the second coming of the Christ, the evolutions of consciousness, man versus the machine. So the machines, the Terminator machines, hear that a child is going to be born that's going to terminate them in the future when they oppress man. Because see, it's a man versus the machine. It's God's children versus man's children, which was technology.
So man versus nature.
Exactly. So the Terminator has to time travel to the past because they know it's Sarah Connor, and they have to kill her, terminate her, so she won't have the baby. And Kyle Reese, he comes from the future to protect her, and he inadvertently gets her pregnant. And he has to go back to the future. And so it's the Immaculate Conception, because now she's pregnant and she fell in love with a man, but did it really happen? Did he exist? And then this child, when you see the three Terminators, the boy, and then the man child, subconsciously he doesn't know why the Terminator is trying to kill him until he's hidden out in the city, in the Matrix, the future. When he reaches 30 years of age, the rebellion, the reloaded, revolution starts. And the rebels come and they find him because they've been watching him all along. That's what the Guardians and the Sentinels are all about. And so they wake him up to his purpose. They take him to Morpheus to train him to fight the machines. They take him to the Oracle because of the prophecy. So this is the whole epic story. It's an epic.
Because this plays into why this sudden mental change on Facebook. Where is Facebook now a threat where they need to regulate them and shut them down?
Facebook is nothing but a database for the CIA. That's all it is. It has all of your family's pictures, all of your friends. It has all the information. They used it here in Vegas when they had that car accident. Remember when the Maserati right by the Cromwell?
Yes,
when that happened right there? Well, all they did was take camera footage from Caesars, Bally's, and other casinos. And they went and they took this footage and they got the license plates, and then they saw that the guy did, California. He rented that Range Rover. And after they did that, They went to social network and they found his girlfriend on Twitter's and they found his picture, and then they went to LA because they knew they were from LA, put his picture on a $250,000 billboard and put a reward up for him for $25,000, and they got him within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks because of the technology.
So how should we, how do you advise people to share their image, their data?
There's not going to be any more privacy. Everything is cameraed down. Everything is caught on camera. And this is what it's going to be about in the future. Virtual reality that I'm explaining in The Matrix and Terminator. Everything is going to be, so now it's going to be so easy. You're not going to have any more paper passports. It's just going to be where you come into the airport, they're going to scan you, your body, retinal, fingerprints, the whole 9 yards.
This is what CLEAR is about.
That's
that
right.
Airport, that's what CLEAR, yeah.
This way, nobody has to alter paper and put a picture or a name on there because they have your bone structure, they have your eyes, they got your fingerprints. This is the database, and they match you up. You see what I'm saying? And you go through. So that way no terrorists can come through and pretend to be somebody or somebody that they're looking for that's the most wanted. You see what I'm saying? Because all of this technology is going to start ruling. It's artificial intelligence. It's going to start ruling everything. Once the satellites come into play that I'm talking about, there's maybe another 5 to 10 years from now, they're really going to play a phenomenal part. Because this is why Apple and Microsoft became the billion-dollar, trillion-dollar babies, is because IBM and Xerox didn't know what a mouse was. A mouse meaning they didn't know what the internet was going to be. You see what I'm talking about? They didn't want to move into that technology. The studios don't know what streaming is. They got pissed off because Netflix paid $50 million and got 3 or 4 Oscars for the movie Roma. But it was never shown in the movie theaters at all. It was watched.
And that's why Steven Spielberg and all of it. You know, when we come back,
yes.
I'm going to have some of my crew to join you, my technical people, the superhero. We mentioned when you were coming on your lawsuits and the battles you've had to fight, and you've just won in Utah.
Yes.
But it's always a battle for you.
Well, the reason why it's always a battle for me is because the government refuses to protect my copyrights. You know, I own the copyrights to all the derivative movies, both franchises I own. It was adjudicated in Utah September the 25th, 2014. So why am I still with a RICO case here in Nevada, which I just won, but they're still trying to fix it so they can continue to use the stolen money, which is untraceable, and it's all linked to Hillary Clinton's foundation and money laundering.
Do you consider yourself politically neutral?
I consider myself totally neutral. All I'm worried about is for the people. Because if the government doesn't protect my copyrights, he doesn't protect yours.
But the government is afraid of you. I'd be afraid of you.
Well, there's no need to be afraid of me because I only stand for principles.
But what you know and the knowledge you share and what you have insights to can be very dangerous to some people.
Yes, but my job is to come here and waken people. That's what the Matrix is about, to wake you up from the Matrix, to get you out of the illusions and the lies and the ignorance. So it's not dangerous for me because that's my job. That's what I came here to do. That's why I wrote The Matrix and Terminator, to wake people up so they can move on to greater, better things.
Yeah, but a lot of these movie houses and these studios and the Facebooks of the world don't want people to know what happens to them every day when they share the information.
But that's destroying their free will, and God doesn't want that.
But people want to be ignorant. They don't want to know that they're being exploited. It requires too much responsibility when they find out.
Well, that's what the blue pill and the red pill is about. The red pill is about the blood of the living beings. The black and the blue ink is the machines. But this is the humans' world. We are the winners. They are the losers. So people need to exert their free will regardless of what anybody wants.
So what are the unintended consequences of all this that we're talking about?
Their people's consciousness will shift and they will go on to create and do better things. They won't be in bondage. And this is the whole purpose of the Matrix and Terminator and the new work that's coming, Matrix 4. It's a Matrix 4 book is out. It's been selling for 9 years, since 2010, around the entire globe. People have to wake up and shift their consciousness so they can create, so they can build. Because you can't stay in the past. Everything must change, right?
One of the things in the 1 minute that we have left, if you don't remember anything else about the broadcast today, is this: you're not as free as you think you are. You're in bondage in more ways than you imagine, and it's a different kind of slavery, very dangerous kind of slavery, that the mind and how we concede ourselves to people without any thoughts or any challenge, and we're so willing to surrender. Freedom comes with a price. It takes as much to maintain it as it did to establish it. It's not really free, and it's not for the faint of heart.
But man is always going to take that challenge, because man wants to be free. Look, everybody loved the Matrix and Terminator because it woke them up. They didn't even realize they were in the dream. They didn't realize they were in a simulation. They didn't realize they were in illusions. But now that they are awakened, they will fight.
Will you fight? Are you awakened? Are you ready to embrace your destiny? Because freedom comes from God, not from man. And the moment you realize that, you'll begin that journey of freedom. Thank you so much.
I want to say one thing. Like Morpheus said, I didn't tell you it was going to be easy.
But it will be fair if you fight the fight.
That's right.
You can equal the battlefield.
When will uploading our brain become a reality?
Digital immortality is starting now.
So this is an example of what's going on here.
That's right. Telepathy, telekinesis, uploading memories, recording dreams. We can, quote, do all of the above. This is no longer science fiction. You go to the physics laboratories and you can see how images can be extracted from the human brain. How it's possible now that we can upload memories in animals and record memories from animals, because physics can now probe thoughts as they go ricocheting through the brain.
Is what you're describing the same thing as consciousness? Because if that's the case, then we can say it's not just our thoughts that live forever, it's our very identity, our self, our conscious self that lives forever.
Well, there is a theory that says the soul. The soul is information. It's a vast amount of information, but nonetheless, it's information that can be put into holographic form, such that even if you pass away, something there survives.
But theoretically, that is effectively immortality. Once you reach that point, that is you living forever.
Why not have digital immortality? Wouldn't you want to talk to your great-great-great-great-great-grandkids who want to meet their great-great-great-great ancestor?
This gives you movement throughout time and throughout space. So this is being godlike.
Well, that's what we're talking about, transcending the human race.
Hidden Secrets in Commercials, Part 1. Take a close look at this ad and see if you notice something weird.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today.